Yo, bartender.
Bar's closed.
Hey, yo, bartender, what's good, man? Let me get a drink, man. Let me get a shot.
Hey, man, I know you just put up to the bar, but we closed.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man, I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna get you one drink, cause it look like you need it.
One drink? I can do one drink. I can do one drink, cause I really, yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to brought to you by is Talking Trash. Now, believe it or not, this is sound hilarious because we do talk radio all the time. Talking Trash is actually a garbage company. This young man came out the box with something different, and I had to laugh at it because Lord knows it reminded me of Bar Talk with Jay. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm promoting him, not just for that fact. He's a good brother that's out there, man. And in this world, you need all the help you can get, and that's exactly why I'm endorsing him. Because, again, greatness comes from people that's willing to put in the work. He showed me so far he's willing to do it, so I'm endorsing him. So, yeah, it's Talking Trash. Coming soon to your neighborhood.
All right.
Now, I got to get back to this person been rocking with me now over 7 years. And this person comes in each and every time. And I don't know if you ladies pay attention, but he always has a smile. Pragmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
I'm doing good, Smooth Jay. Just keeping my grind on, man. You know, trying to stay positive in life. Everything's good, man. I've got no problem. I mean, I got some problems, but, you know, overcoming every one of them. You know what I'm saying? Day by day.
Come on now.
Day by day, man. So I'm doing well, man. How you doing tonight?
Let me tell you, Kraft. Every day is a struggle, but one of the things I can tell you, having great people in your circle makes it that much greater.
It is.
Never knew how important it was to have good people around you.
Yeah.
Depression happens when you don't pay these things no attention and you feel like you can handle it all, and then the pressures come down like Jericho's wall. It's like, Lord have mercy, what am I doing?
Right.
You got to watch your circle because your circle will help you keep that from happening.
Yeah.
So again, keep that pressure off, and again, circle yourself with some people that definitely mean something to you, care for you, and that right there makes my day that much brighter. So that's why I smile.
Yeah, that I was at a program last night, and the final quote that was delivered to this constituency was, "Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future."
Ooh, you know that's really deep.
Master P.
Really deep.
And so, circle your surroundings, your atmosphere. As much as you have to take care of the inside, you also have to take care of the outside.
Correct.
And that's a lesson for all of us to embrace. You know, let's take a look at who's really around us and what is really around us. And are we always putting ourselves in a position to experience negativity? For example, I walked into the convenience store about an hour ago, and the first thing I heard was on the news some kid getting killed.
No.
And immediately I kind of deflated because I was feeling sorry for the kid and sorry for the situation, and I was like, wait a minute, that's negative, right? Correct. I'm fired up, I'm positive, I'm finna get ready to go do Bar Talk with Jay. I ain't got time for that nonsense and that negative energy, you know?
Right.
So again, it's just I had to check myself even in the midst of negativity, because that atmosphere was trying to come upon me. And that's what we can't afford to let happen, you know?
Oh, it happens too often.
Yeah, a great way to introduce our show. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Cravmatic. This is my boy, Smooth Jay.
In the building.
And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a great dialogue. We're just going to chop it up on a subject tonight, and we hope that it can be meaningful to you. We hope that it will be a guidance to your spirit, a guidance in your direction for life. That it might offer you some energy, it might offer you some passion, it might offer you some direction, but whatever comes out tonight, we want it to be therapeutic.
Okay.
And that's for all of us. You know, Jay and I do this show kind of, right off the top of the dome, and in the midst of these conversations, there's so much healing and there's so much growth taking place, and we hope that you experience that as well.
That's why we do.
Now, we always start the show off with a prayer. And
you got to give it to him right now, Brad.
All right. By the way, let me go ahead and mention our topic for tonight, because I'd like to do the prayer over the topic.
Uh-oh. Add it in.
What does it take to be great?
Mm.
What does it take to be great?
Mm.
Let's pray over that subject and as we go into this show. Heavenly Father, we come into your presence now just thanking you for all that you are in our life, your power and your grace and your love upon our lives, your protection. We know that these things would not be possible if it not for you and your all-loving and all-powerful way. We ask tonight, Heavenly Father, that you would grant us a revelation about greatness, that you would open the doors of our mind to understand greatness and to shift our mind to be great. Teach us, help us, inspire us, open our minds and our hearts to our own greatness here tonight as we engage in this conversation. We'd like for your intelligence and wisdom to inspire us, and we ask that you would be here and show us the way. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Ooh, that was solid, bro.
Amen.
So solid.
Yeah, man, because, you know, we're all on a path.
Correct.
Whether you know it or not, you are on a path.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, have you determined what your path really means to you? Have you determined what your path is to do for you? Maybe to do for your future, to do for your family. Have you gotten an awareness about who you are
Preach it.
and what you mean to this world?
Preach it.
And, you know, I always like to think, Jay, about the dash. We talk about the dash between your date of birth and your date of passing. And what does that dash really mean?
Correct.
In my world, I want the dash to be a legacy. You know, for many years now, I've been practicing and teaching consciousness and thoughts and positive energy, etc. And one of the things that I have done is just kind of created lots of products. Lots of little products that just help people think right. I've been creating videos. I've been working on, books and talking to audiences and all of that stuff. The one thing that I have not done in all of my days, and I'm just now beginning to attack it, thanks to my friend Booby, our studio executive producer here, that I have never put me in that equation.
What?
I have never put me in that equation.
Okay.
And I want you to think about that as we talk about what does it take
already done
to create greatness. What does it take to be great? The thing that you are doing oftentimes is not about you.
I already knew it.
Now, other people may make you popular. Other people may see your work and, recognize you. But typically, greatness is not about you, right? Even though you may be in a world where you're having to compete, you think about all the athletic greats, they were great competitors, right? They shined when it came to competition. They shined when it came to winning, when it came to defeating the other man, whether it was just through their pure athletics or whether it was their study of the game and figuring out the weaknesses and faults of the opponent. But whatever it is, they competed and won, right? When you think about people who are in politics, or you think about some of the old greats who stood up in times of racial tension and the movement of progress in life on laws and policies, etc., that those people were almost never thinking about themselves. They were not trying to be great, but their work proved to be great because their work proved to move the bar. The work proved to move the bar. So, just kind of an introduction there, Jay.
That wasn't even an introduction, man. Drop the mic. Let's just leave right now. We can start the next time.
I appreciate it.
Because one thing I can tell you, you killed it in all kinds of ways where it's kind of hard to come behind that. Because the only thing I can say to you is normally when I see greatness, that's usually a person that I can see them in their purpose. It highlights what God gave you and you within that purpose, and that purpose helps move people. because that's what God does for you.
Yes.
So again, it's not the selfishness ways. It could be your arrogance, but it's the fact that you stand for something and you stand strong on it. And then I can't even say nothing because you hold yourself accountable.
Right.
Where I want to say negative things about you, and that's what the haters do, but you're going to make the haters become a motivator because you show them better than what they tell of others.
Right.
People will lie on you before they tell the truth on you.
Right.
I'd rather start some bull crap so I can get some attention because I need it away from you.
Yes.
Because I can't stand the fact that you do everything you say and I can't do a damn thing right on my end. So all I can do is hate on the person I see is greater than me because I'm afraid of them. You need to let the fear alone and understand the greatness of purpose because you ain't living within yours. So you got to down somebody else about theirs. The saddest thing that happens today, and one of the things I can tell you, I'm too sad that you got to feel that damn way because no one taught you that.
Yeah.
That was self-taught. Self-sabotage is a self thing.
Yeah.
Because truthfully, you can commend that person. That I see some of the greatness in you. You can't say because what? It makes you feel a certain way? No. It don't make you look weak. It just gives a person an upper hand to know, I see some of the great things that you do. And let me tell you something. I don't think it's going to faze that person. Because if you told me I was doing some great things and I know I was doing it within purpose, all I can say is thank you.
Well, it builds them up.
Because one of the things I can tell you is God given.
Yeah.
I didn't do this for you. I did this because it's the right thing to do. Keep my family together. Worship no other but God. Quit putting other things in front of him and standing for something. That made me feel like that was just a purpose that I was to do. So when you tell me, yeah, man, I see it. I love it. Only thing I can say is thank you.
Well, and not only,
And be humble.
you know, I have had many comments about what we do here on this show.
Okay.
And because we always come to a level of reality that, you know, a lot of places and spaces and platforms just don't get to.
True.
And so people are saying, man, I love your show. I love what y'all do. I love your message. I just love it. And when I hear those comments, it makes me feel like the work that I'm doing is getting its fair due. It makes me feel like all the time that we spend and the travel time, the being here, the planning, the execution, Movie goes back and edits the videos, and you know, a week to 2 months later it drops online. That's a process.
It is.
And when people compliment that process, it makes me feel good. It makes me want to go harder. It makes me want to do more.
They do.
It makes me want to reach deeper and find a way to give back just a little bit more, you know, because this is about giving, you know.
It is.
One of the things that I did in preparation for this show is I went to Google and I asked for a list of great people. Just that simple. I went to Google and I asked for a list of great people. And what it presented to me was a list of famous people. And I want to make the distinguishment between the two. Greatness doesn't always have to have famous in it.
Correct.
There are so many achievements that have happened under this sun that does not get credit. It is absolutely incredible. I would probably say even 90% of all of the great things that happen in our world never get acknowledged. You know, I was going through a school zone a few days ago, and I saw a middle-aged older man doing a crosswalk. And how many times have that man saved a child's life? How many times has the guy managing the crosswalk for the children, how many times has he checked drivers to slow down and sit down and stop doing all that nonsense? You know,
get out their phone.
Yeah. And so now what that does is that put greatness in the common man. That puts greatness in you and me.
Thank you.
That puts greatness in every day. You know, was driving home last night from a meeting, and there was a full-size SUV up in front of me, and he was swerving like crazy. We already know what that meant. It's 9 o'clock, you know, on a Saturday night. Major SUV swerving, probably drunk. And
One overheard.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
yeah, and what I did was just started blinking my lights in his back, behind him. I'm behind him, blinking my lights, like, hey, wake up, roll the window down or whatever. I don't necessarily want to call the police and tell them what's going on, but I'm going to do something to try to wake you up. So I flashed my lights. When I pulled up beside him, I just kind of looked at him. I was like, man, come on, man, no, and he went to roll his window down, and as he rolled his window down and I drove off, I was like, tighten up, tighten up. Now, I wonder if I saved a life last night, maybe even his life. See, greatness comes as a result of being responsible in the moment.
Correct.
Right? And ultimately, it's about performance. It's about performing in the moment. It's about making sure that you are prepared. It's about making sure that you take responsibility and accountability. But most of the greatness is not famous.
No.
Most of the things that we think of as greatness has nothing to do with notoriety,
No, it's like I said before, it's more within purpose. Because again, you had a notion that you're doing something unsafe. Just like the person that was in the right place doing a crosswalk. Now, this is one of the things I want to bring out to you, and I'm glad you brought that up. The person that's just walking these kids across the street. Y'all don't understand. When God puts you in place, a lot of time people overlook your position.
Yes.
Okay? You are anointed to watch after. We don't even think twice about, because we already know to protect the children, but he took on this badge of honor.
Yes.
To foresee it past you.
Right.
So once you let them walk off and they was out your sight, they in his sight, and he got them.
Right.
And that's what then purpose means. A lot of us are in position not for what God intended. You in there because of money. You in there for all the wrong thing. You're not really watching out. You're watching to see when my pay hit.
Right.
You're not being the person that's going to protect. You just that person that look for a provision. I want this paycheck. I show up for provision. I can care less about these kids. I can care less about you. All I want is my money. When you get people like this within your organization or put in place, you're going to get a non-caring factor.
Yeah.
That's going to cause more problems than you ever knew. But when you get that right one, with the purpose of knowing why he's there, it's not just about the money. He do it for the pride.
Right.
Of making sure, because he might got grandkids too.
Right.
My God got kids. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But he's driven by it. So his pay might not be enough. He make it enough. He find ways. And then guess what? Your kids make it safely.
Yeah.
And then when you come through there recklessly, one of the days you hurrying up for work, you forget it's a school zone for whatever reason, go past flashing light, and he sits there with that stop sign, just letting you know, bro, you need to watch. It's kids here.
Yes.
He risked his own life.
Right.
Because you wasn't thinking.
Right.
And then you want to get out and fight him because you know you so dead ass wrong. That's the saddest thing to me, is we're starting to act like morons in situations that we can just grab a sense of calmness and say, you know something? He right. That's the difference that I'm not saying like I need to say.
Yeah.
You're right. I am too sorry because I don't mean no harm.
Right.
And to me, that's getting you back to your greatness. Everybody need to get back in order. And we getting out of order. And then we trying to get songs to back us about the rudeness and the wrongness of what we do. No. Don't let nothing back you in a wrongful way. Let God guide you. Not your ego and your ego taking you off path, because that's what that normally do. You done got pumped up for the wrong reason. And that's not great at all. That's a great fool. I don't want you to be foolish. I just want us to be wise.
Right.
Because that person that stopped you with that stop sign, he had a purpose that day.
Right.
To save a life. And you didn't think twice about it. And then when something happened negatively, now you're thinking about all I can do to show forgiveness. And listen, it never had to be forgiven if you had thought about the purpose of what you was doing. You went out of character. You went out of purpose. You was got in a hurry. Things happen. And that's why I want us to look at things in a more civilized way than a fighting way, because everybody want to fight to be right. When I see most greatness, They don't fight to be right. They are right.
They are right.
They work with their righteousness.
And you know what? You know what the difference is there, Jay?
What's that part?
It's about intention.
I like that.
And I've been doing training and development for years. I started my first training company back in 98, 99. And one of the things that I've been doing in helping people find their purpose is asking people, what is it important about life? What's important about what you want to do, And they would tell me things like, I always wanted to hike this trail, or I always wanted to play the guitar, or I always wanted to write a book, or I always wanted to, create a CD. I always wanted to do X, Y, and Z with my family. And when I thought about each one of those, no matter what it is, that it was really about others.
Correct.
It was always about, like, most of the goals and most of the dreams that people have, that are filled with purpose is about helping others. It's about helping others. And I can imagine a beautician. She's like, my girl, she coming over. I'm going to get her ready for a wedding. I'm going to get her ready for that event she going to. I'm going to make sure she popping. I'm going to make sure her hair's on fire. People going to be looking at her from across the room, And that's the purpose with the intent to help others.
Correct.
Right? And it's not necessary, they going to get paid. It's not necessarily about the money. There's a lot of selfishness going on when you think about people's life and people's purpose, And I'll be honest with you, I was a victim of that mentality, because I thought to myself at one point in my early years that, hey, if I become a millionaire, I could just kind of separate myself from the world. I don't need them no more. I can do whatever the hell I want to do, and I ain't got to really care about all the nonsense going on, Okay. And that was a young man's attitude, because I thought it was about riches. I thought it was about wealth. And after I began to do all this training and development, I got real passionate about helping people. And I thought to myself, Stacy, one of the ways you can duplicate yourself is in your inspiration to others.
Say it.
And so if I inspire someone, that they're probably going to inspire 2 or 3 more people in their lifetime. Next thing you know, the dash in my life means I helped thousands of people, maybe hundreds of thousands of people. Perhaps millions of people. Some of the messages that I have sent out, I believe, are keeping people strong.
Yeah, that's an impression.
Yeah, left the kind of impression that keeps on giving.
That's right.
I've got words, and I've got experiences, and I've got messages that have come from people, that's in my heart and mind, and sometimes they get me out of bed on tough days. And those people never know. They never know that their story and their troubles and their sharing with me their problems inspire me.
Say,
that's greatness that you almost will never see. That's greatness that you really can't put a hand on.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, and
you got me coming out my jacket.
Yeah,
that's the greatness that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm just really about the intention of purpose. Don't let your intention and your purpose be around selfishness.
Oh, say it.
Right?
Oh my God. You just said it so clearly, and I think that defines greatness.
Yeah.
Is when you take it away just from you, but they see you in it.
Mm-hmm.
You make it not about you, but everybody see it as you.
Right.
Because what you do is for a lot of others, but the care and the love that you do is seen through you.
Right.
And I like to say that right there led me to when we mentioned greatness. It was a person that hits me right now, and his name is Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders. Let's talk about
it. And I'm going to bring up Deion, but please understand, this is just me, my personal view, and a lot of y'all might not like him with this, that, or the other. Listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm going to tell you why I see him as a greatness is because, again, I seen him athletically, and I seen him talk.
We're going to go way deep down into Deion. Okay. But here's the first thing I heard. I heard you defending yourself from the haters of Deion.
The reason I did that, to separate me from them. is a lot of times people mention somebody and then they start bringing some other stuff up.
They start bringing the negative
And
stuff
I
up.
don't care to bring nothing negative because I like to say since his career and then all of the great things that he did, what he went back into college and even did, and what he's still bringing to the table, even with the losses, he came in a humble way that I say is great. It's great for the mentality of his son and how he feels about all the people that play football, his coaching staff, the players. He gives love to all of them, okay? That's greatness to me because I don't see that,
Yeah.
okay? Most people just want a winning mentality and they want to win.
Yeah.
He just wants you to be great at what you do. He has a fatherly push through that I really admire, okay? Because I don't always see that. Everybody just want wins. He wants to be successful. That's different. And it's so different as you got to understand success to know what success is. He obviously got a formula for it. And he wants these young men to understand it and to be able to handle it. And a lot of times you get it early and then you lose a lot of wealth behind it because you don't have the understanding of being a successful person. You don't know how to manage your money. He's trying to give all this on a lower level, which it was missed, to make sure you become a better person. Yeah, you heard me, a better person. That's why I admire him, because that's what greatness is about. Past what you want to be, and I see you for what you can be, and I give you the tools to get you there. Because God helped me first. I'm helping you because it's a given. I don't always see that. What I normally see is about you do this, you do that, and you achieve that. But it isn't no heartfelt. It's not no compassion. I see the compassion. I see it on the field when them young men are out there playing against people way bigger than them and they're trying to execute. I see that. That right there, I'm like, yo, he's in line with purpose because I see it.
Yeah.
That's why greatness comes from people that see things past this them and then they're willing to give it to others. He got into this because he wanted to coach his child, but it ain't like he just coached his son. He's still coaching everyone. But he's showing that fatherlyhood through all out.
Yeah.
And then he's still holding accountability. When he lose, it was a butt kick. I love how you say it was a butt kick. He ain't going to take away from that. But we're going to go back and we're going to study our X's and O's. It goes back to planning. That's what success is about. This is what people forget. You get in the business and you think you're going to be successful, it's going to be a lot of upsets. And you got to go back to your plan. You got to redo it. You got to get stronger at it. That's what success is about. And that's what I see success and greatness when you go back and you make change and continue, not quit.
Right.
Just because that person got you there, that don't mean nothing. When you quit, then they got you.
Right.
Then you're done. Okay? And that's not what I like to see. A lot of people give up too quick.
Yeah.
And then some people don't know when to quit.
Well, I think that's an attribute of greatness is never quitting.
It can be. But hold on. In that though, you also have to have evaluation. Because if I go at something and I'm not good at it, and I did not do my homework at it, and I didn't do well, and I lost, okay? You can't just stay in it in that same way. Yeah. There has to be an evaluation to realize there got to be some change. And this is also why I wasn't successful. And I think that also helps success because it's a moving thing. You can't just say this one thing works for everyone. It doesn't all the time.
Yeah.
But when you see it and you see the failure in it and you say, well, let me adjust this and do this, that makes more of a success because that's your success. Because you might have started watching another person's template and you was just following what you was told, but you didn't understand your portion of it because you have a lot of sack and you just did it that way because that's all you know. And now you start understanding, oh yeah, well, I always wanted to add me, so maybe I need to do this. Okay, that's going to drive it in a different way. You're going to get a better result or a different result. I ain't going to say better because I can't guarantee. Because sometimes you put yourself into it and you mess things up. Right. But you could also add a lot of things too. That's going to be up to you, but are you willing to do? Because everything is not cookie cutter. I'm the saddest thing. Everybody want cookie cutter. Just give it to me and that way I can be successful. Okay, well, get your ass out of it. Because you ain't going to understand. Most people got to endure. If you just want it simply because you don't want what you've been getting and you ain't willing to change, then get out. Don't do it. Just work for somebody. Okay?
Yeah. You know what, Jay? And what I was about to say is kind of along those lines. People who we consider great without a shadow of a doubt, have the greatest pain stories.
I would agree with a lot of them.
They will tell you that they suffered, that they were homeless, that they got turned down, they got fired by somebody, that they lost Barry Bonds had as many strikeouts as he had home runs. You got to understand the game, folks. Don't put yourself in this mindset where you're living a lie, where you're living a fallacy. Greatness requires lots of hitting a brick wall. And every one of them hit brick walls. We think about somebody like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. But watch this. You never saw how dedicated he was to working out. You never saw the videos where he was running that day and he had to toss his cookies. Somebody who's really working out hard and you toss your cookies, that means you going extra hard. They don't tell you about the time when you trying to work out, when you're sick, when you're trying to, when these actors and actresses who are great, there's places in the movie scenes where they have to do some stunts or they have to do something that hurts, maybe is a little painful, where they gotta experience something challenging just to get the scene done. But they want the scene to be great. They want the movie to be great. They want the movie to go down in history as one of the greatest. I can just imagine some of the Rambo movies, you know what I'm saying? And those action movies, those guys tore themselves apart making those movies. Those you can imagine those people who had to lose weight or had to gain weight just to do something, And I remember in high school, I was at the lowest weight bracket, and there was two levels above me, like 135 and 142 or 145, something like that. Those guys would have to lose weight to wrestle, but they won state championships.
Sacrifice.
They went on to compete in the Olympics. And you oftentimes miss that. One of the things that our producer said before the show is that people only see greatness in the final product.
Correct.
It's not just in the final product. There's years of struggle. There's battles upon battles upon battles that you have to overcome in order to be considered great. I'm thinking about Dion and how he continues. He has, from the very beginning of his career as we know it, he has continued to re-engineer himself.
Correct.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe one of the stories is that he was brought to the Florida State University to be a wide receiver. And somehow he ended up a defensive back. And so that's a huge disparity. Right?
Yeah.
When you move from offense to defense, it requires a different skill set. It requires maybe a little more footwork, a little more. Now you got to relearn the plays and all that good stuff. He did it. There's been numerous athletes who've made those kinds of changes and made those kinds of decisions. It's difficult to make change in the middle of something that you think you know. But if you do not continue to re-engineer yourself, then you are not ready for the next level.
And let me add to that. One of the things he also did is he learned it, studied it, and he became a threat.
He studied it.
When I tell you he became a threat, when you played against him, no matter what team he played for, he didn't play just for the Falcons. Everybody watch his career. He went through a lot of different teams, but I tell you, he became a threat no matter where he went. And that right there lets you know of greatness is when he's sitting there telling you, you might not want to throw it to him. You might want to throw it across the field because I'm going to get it. When you get that cockiness and you're able to do, that's what made Dion stand out, and that's what he did throughout his career. And it's like, man, you get energized watching a person like that. And that right there let me know, again, when somebody within purpose. Because again, this is also a person that studied off field. He did a lot of other homework that we did not see. So great is this being recognized by me by seeing some of the work and seeing what he did.
Yeah.
Made it to the Hall of Fame, so obviously other people see it too.
We have seen his career, and there's many other people. There's thousands, perhaps millions of people that can walk beside him. They're just not getting the limelight like he gets because they're not in the press and they're not at the status where, you know, people shine cameras on the kind of stuff that you're doing. But it's still great. But you know, he played the game.
He did.
And did a fabulous job.
He did.
He played baseball.
He did. And did a fabulous job. And
then,
also, he raised his family.
He raised his family.
And he stayed in his family's life.
And did a fabulous job.
So when I say that, he got a lot of factors that I don't always see when I hear about some people that's famous and doing some things, not to talk about anybody. But when I say greatness, you know, it's all in your work. It's not just some of your work. Because there's a lot of great people that ain't doing great things all the way around.
Yeah, one of the things that I love about him is he puts God first.
Yes, he does.
And what that suggests is that he's never giving himself credit. He's always giving credit to God. And that says a lot about a person. That says that, hey, I could only do what I do because of God. And so now you're giving God the glory. And long as you give God the glory, he'll continue to bless you.
He said all the time. He said you didn't make me.
Yeah.
You know, when I hear that.
Yeah.
It's cocky, but it's so true. And it just takes some of the smallest words to make you realize what their purpose.
Yeah.
You can't break me.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, it builds me up automatically because I feel like he's talking to me. You know, and I say that because I'm not against him.
Right.
But he's right. And he didn't make me.
Right.
Okay? I owe the world. I breathe every day. I owe life.
Yeah.
So I feel like all he doing is inspiring me.
Yes.
If I take the time to breathe and I ain't paying for air, I owe. And I'm going to bring something to the table.
Right.
You know, I'm not in the NFL. I can't play that way, but I can play in a whole lot of other ways that God got me as well. And that's when you back into your greatness. Not just judging another man by his, also when you can also hold yourself more accountable in yours. Because it's your life.
Right.
Live it to the fullest, but also live it responsibly. And if you live underneath God's ordainedness of what he wants from you, it's automatically blessed.
It's automatically great.
Automatically blessed.
If you are in a mode where you think you are doing God's work, you are living your greatness.
Man, it's a wonderful feeling.
You are actually exemplifying greatness day in and day out.
Yes.
And I always think about pastors. You know, those people who are really invested in making sure that the word gets spread so that we can all be saved and be healed and know how to fight through life and have, you know, tools of the Spirit like the Holy Ghost and all that stuff, that those pastors are really exemplifying greatness. You know, one of my favorite pastors, Brother T.D. Jakes, every time I see him in action, it's like every speech he's centered in greatness. Because he just teaching, and sometimes his coat be wet with sweat, and sometimes it be hanging off the side of him, and sometimes he'll trip a little bit on the stage, and sometimes he'll, you know, it might forget where he's going, and he'll just start a praise right there. He'll just start a praise. But he's actually doing God's work. I believe he's doing God's work. He's inspiring so many people. Man, you listen to 1 hour of that speech, there's probably 20 points that lifts your spirit. That's greatness, you know? That's greatness in and of itself. I wanted to just name a few people who, by the way, let's talk about the definition. I want to get this out, right?
Okay.
The definition of greatness. It is a noun to be a great, the quality of being great, distinguished, or eminent, right? And, you know, we oftentimes just don't call greatness what it is, but I wanted to share something with you all that I just discovered here a moment ago. And there's many stories that just don't get called great. Colin Kaepernick.
Oh my goodness. Well, his story, and I just want to chime in real quick, because when I first heard it, and I watched him and I thought he was a good quarterback as well. He got ousted because again he stood for something. He stood behind, and that's what made him great. He stood behind police brutality that was getting out of hand. And when he took that stance, there's a lot of people that took a negative stance against him. His was taking a knee. All right. Even when I seen him take the knee, I was like, okay, he's standing for something. And again, it was happening, and it's still happening to today.
Right.
So again, by him taking a stance, I like the fact that he wanted to do something for others.
Right.
That's what put people into a greatness. Now, people that was way above him used what he did, and he put it against the military. They said it was a negative approach to our military, and it was a disrespect, and people fell for it. I mean, it's easy to fall for something when you don't see what a person is really standing for, because that had nothing to do with the military, but it had a lot to do with our policing.
Yeah.
Here, right now. And that's the saddest thing to me. But one thing I can tell you, he stood for it, they pushed it away, and now they're glorifying Nike back to him. Nike stood their grounds against what everybody else said, and then other people start seeing it later.
Okay.
Never made it back in, so a lot of times some of your greatness never get back to that platform. But what I like is you gonna have to stand no matter what, because you just know it's the right thing, and people will shun you. You might go through some things, you might get stoned, but the bottom line, he stood, and there's a lot of people that really feel like he was wrongfully done.
Yeah.
But the best thing is, he stood his damn ground. And
Yeah.
that's what we need to do to be better people.
And here's the thing. Greatness is in you. Go and be great.
Oh, yes.
This has been Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Yes.
We want to thank you folks for being with us today. We just here trying to be great in the world, and hopefully this has been elevating to you. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. Please like, share, subscribe, come and see us.
Yes,
and
yes.
never forget, folks, that we do this for you because we love you, we appreciate you, and with that,
We are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with